Hello, my name is Devin with HDpiano.com, and in today's lesson, I'll be showing you guys how to play The Day That the Dance Is Over by Darren Criss. It's a wonderful piano part, and here's what we'll be learning. All right, so we'll call that the main riff. That's kind of the main theme that gets us through the majority of the piece. And we'll learn that in this video, and I'll go over some ways that we can kind of upgrade that main riff because it does appear with a few minor variations throughout the song. But then over at HDpiano.com, I'll be teaching you the pre-chorus, the bridge, and I'll also just be going over some general arrangement tips for ways to spice things up as the song progresses. You know, little tricks that you can throw in there. There's a few scales that would be really helpful to know to kind of take it to that next level, especially for that outro jam. All right, so before we dive in, I'm curious to know how you found out about Darren Criss. I guess he was famous first for that Harry Potter, was it called? A very Potter musical or something like that. Anyways, my story for finding out about Darren Criss was somewhat strange. I was asked to play a gig with his band Computer Games. It's a band that he has with his brother Chuck Criss, who's also a co-writer on this song. And I was like, oh yeah, who's Darren Criss? Cool, sounds great. Let's play this gig, So I show up to rehearsal, and like 20 minutes before rehearsal, I'm like, I should probably figure out who this guy is. I look him up on Instagram, 2.5 million followers. I'm like, whoa, okay, so this guy's famous. So anyways, that's my story. I was lucky enough to play this tune with him, and I'll be playing with him again in October, in a couple months from now. Here in New York at Central Park for the Elsie Fest, which is kind of like a Broadway-themed festival that he runs. So if you're in the area, come on out. All right, let's get started. We are in the key of B flat major. I've got middle C here, and we've got this second inversion B flat triad in our right hand over a B flat in the left. So that's B flat, F, B flat, and D. So this song really makes use of parallel sixths. That's these outer shapes here, the F to the D, then we come up to an A flat to an F, a G flat to an E flat, and back down to the F to the D. And so essentially that's like a F minor, E flat minor, back to B flat. It's a very gospel move, and it's definitely like kind of the core of this piece. So we'll call that this kind of like parallel sixth trick. So up to A flat and F, G flat and E flat, back down to F and D, and that's all over B flat in the left. And the rhythm is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. All right, so we see that rhythm a lot. So we play the full chord, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. We play those 2 sixths, and then we're back to the full chord that we started with. Now the next measure uses the same rhythm, but we're going to use some different chords to get to G minor, which is the relative minor. So it's like a nice kind of darker landing point. We're going to go from our original B flat chord to F sharp diminished. That's F sharp in the left, F sharp, A, and C in the right. And then we'll land here on G minor, which is G in the left, D, G, and B flat in the right. All right, same rhythm there. And now we're going to use that same rhythm to get to E flat, the 4 chord. And we're going to repeat the G minor, but it's basically a G minor 7 because we have this F. Root position would have this G, but we have the 7th instead. So that's a G minor 7. Then we're going to walk down to F, and we're just going to move our outer notes. So F, so G to F, and D on top goes to C. And that gives us F sus4, and then we're going to land on E flat major root position. This is our 4 chord. We're going to hang here for a couple beats, and then we play it again, and then we play this kind of F sus chord here, which leads us nicely back to the 1 chord. So essentially this song is built on 1, bum, 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 1, bum, 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 6 minor, bum, 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 4 major, 5 sus, and back to 1. That's the core. It's important to know kind of like where each of those chords is headed. And then when you incorporate the fancier stuff, that's when you're like, okay, that's what's making this song sound so cool and so gospel-y. We use those sixth. Then we go from here to F sharp diminished. Here's our G minor chord. Now we repeat that chord. F sus to the 4 chord, E flat, 4, 5. And again, this is F in the left, E flat, F, and B flat in the right. I'll play it through real slow, those 4 measures. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 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 3 and 4 and 1. So when we get to the verse, we land here on a first inversion B flat chord in the right. You can play either B flat with your left. The roots are kind of interchangeable as far as octaves go. That's D, F, and B flat in the right. But then we're basically just going to repeat that whole thing, and this is what we do twice for the verse. Now here you can add a little quick 16th note. Bum, bum. It's like your thumb just kind of anticipates the chord real quick on that E flat. So 1, 2, E, and a 3, and 4, and again. Repeat the verse. One, and 2, E, and a 3, and 4, and we're into the pre-chorus. So we'll get to that in a later video. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly scan the sheet music. There's really no changes in the first chorus. First chorus just uses that main riff as well. The interlude uses that main riff. The second verse uses that main riff. And we'll just start to see a few little changes in the second chorus. So why don't I go ahead and jump ahead to the second chorus and show you what's going on there. You'll probably be able to tell. Right? All the shapes are the same. There's just a little more action between the hands. More anticipations. So essentially, the left hand is playing beat 2, and the right hand as well. Normally we were just holding a half note for beats 1 and 2, but now we're incorporating a bit more of beat 2. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and a 3, and 4, and 1. And there my right hand anticipated that B flat. And again, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. And we'll hit and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So that was the second loop of the chorus. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so this is a pretty trustworthy source. It's reflect what Darren, I'm assuming Darren played this. I mean, I know he plays it live. I bet he played it in the studio as well. But, this is a very accurate reflection of what he plays on the recording. Sorry, having a little brain fart here. But what I want to say is that you don't have to play it exactly like he plays it. There's a lot of flexibility here. So rhythmically, feel free to kind of, go wherever inspiration takes you. Whoops, wrong chord there. All right, so as long as you know the general shape, the general pattern, and those core chords that we're moving between, 1, 6, and 4, then you can, let loose a little bit. So we'll talk more about that in a later video. That's all I've got for you in this video. That's the main riff for The Day That the Dance Is Over. My name's Devin with HDpiano.com. Follow us on social media while I have you here. And, of course, keep subscribed to our channel. And we'll see you at another lesson or at